podcast. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman. Today's episode spans joy, culture, science, health, and some deeply concerning political developments. From Dolly Parton turning 80 and reminding us all what real allyship looks like, to new research on LGBTQ plus health disparities, shrinking visibility, and aggressive legislator threats. This episode captures the full spectrum of where the community is right now. Let's get into it. Dolly Parton turned 80 and celebrates the LGBTQIA plus community. And somehow she's still teaching the world how to lead with love. As fans celebrate the music legend's milestone birthday, many are reflecting on why Dolly remains so deeply beloved. Decades of iconic music, new collaborations, and a lifetime of kindness that extends far beyond the stage. That includes her unwavering support of LGBTQIA plus community. In 2016 interview with Pride Source, Dolly spoke openly about her early understanding of difference, explaining that while she didn't grow up with language around queerness, she always knew that being different was never a problem. She shared that she later discovered the LGBTQIA plus family members, saying simply, "We accept them, we embrace them." Dolly has long celebrated her LGBTQ plus fans, proudly acknowledging her huge gay and lesbian following and saying everyone deserves to be themselves, whoever they are. She summed it up in a classic Dolly fashion, saying that gay people she knows are some of the most sensitive and caring people in her life, people who just want to make their world more beautiful. At 80 years old, Dolly isn't just a legend, she's still showing us what allyship looks like in action. Happy birthday, Dolly. We all love you, especially me. Next, Harry Styles announces a new album and reflects on queer visibility. Harry Styles has long occupied a unique place in pop culture, one defined by openness, playfulness, and resistant to rigid labels. Back in 2018, during a live concert moment that went viral, Styles responded to a fan sign by saying, "We're all a little bit gay, aren't we?" The comment became so viral of how many fans experience his world as an invitation to breathe easier around identity. Now Styles is back in the spotlight with a new album announcement. On January 15th, he revealed an upcoming release titled Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. While details are still limited, the title alone has fans buzzing, hinting at joy, fluidity, nostalgia, and another era of unapologetic self-expression. For many LGBTQ plus listeners, Harry Styles' visibility hasn't been about labels, it's been about permission. Permission to explore, to express, and to exist without explanation. Love you, Harry. Can't wait to see you in concert again. Next study finds same-sex behaviors across hundreds of primate species. Science continues to challenge the myth that queerness is unnatural. A new study published in Nature, Ecology, and Evolution examined 491 non-human primate species and documented same-sex sexual behavior in 59 species, with repeated behavior observed in 23. Researchers define same-sex behavior broadly, including mounting, genital touching, courtship, and bonding behaviors, regardless of reproduction. The study found these behaviors were more common in species living under environmental stress, such as limited food supplies or high predator risk. They were also more prevalent in species with complex social structures and longer lifespans. Importantly, researchers noted that same-sex behavior often serves social purposes, helping build alliances, reduce tension, and strengthen group cohesion. Once again, nature makes something clear. Queerness isn't an anomaly, it's part of life itself. Our next story is Stonewall relaunches rainbow laces as #Move with Pride. Stonewall has relaunched its iconic rainbow laces campaign, now branded as #Move with Pride, alongside troubling new data about discrimination in sports and exercise. A new YouGov survey shows LGBTQ plus people are nearly 3 times more likely to experience discrimination while exercising than the general population. More than a third reported facing negative language, behavior, or attitudes compared to just 13% overall. This comes as mental health concerns remain high. The survey found that 76% of LGBTQ plus respondents have experienced mental illness, yet many avoid sport or movement due to fear or discrimination. Olympic gold medalist Dame Kelly Holmes is backing the campaign, saying movement should be accessible to everyone and belonging is essential to confidence and well being. Professional footballer Josh Cavallo also supports the initiative, highlighting the gap between sports, mental health benefits, and LGBTQ plus people's ability to safely access them. I want to talk a little bit about 2026. I'm really focused on taking my podcast to the next level. This is the year where I'm going to be intentional about planning, about growth, and about making sure the future of my two shows are firmly in my own hands. One of the things I'm finally doing is something listeners have been asking for a while: merch. I'm starting to figure out what I need to sell, what makes sense for each show, and what I want an online store to actually look like. I've got ideas in my head, and now I'm ready to make them real. And honestly, there's no better place than to start than Shopify. We're well into 2026, and if there's one thing this year that keeps reminding us, it's a lot of people are rethinking how they work, what they build, and who they build it for. Maybe you've had an idea for a while, something small at first, something friends keep saying, you could actually sell that. By turning an idea into something real can feel overwhelming. That's where Shopify comes in. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person, all in one place. It's already powering millions of businesses, from major household brands to people launching their very first store. One example I love is Death Wish Coffee. Their site runs on Shopify, and it's a great reminder that a good design doesn't have to be complicated. It's easy to navigate, it's easy to buy from, and it works. And it's exactly what customers expect. With Shopify, building a store doesn't mean starting from zero. You can choose from hundreds of templates, customize them to match your brand, and create something that looks polished without feeling corporate or overwhelming. Setup is fast, too. Shopify's built-in AI tools help write product descriptions and headlines, and even assist in editing product photos, so you can start to focus more on your ideas and less on the tech. Marketing is built in as well. Email campaigns, social posts, customer outreach, it's all there, helping you reach people wherever they're scrolling. And when your business grows, Shopify grows with you. More orders, new markets, bigger reach, all managed from the same dashboard. Shopify does this for brands like Skims, Death Wish Coffee, and Untuckit. And now it's helping creators like me build what's next. Because for a lot of us, this isn't about chasing trends. It's about building something sustainable, something intentional, and something that actually lasts. Stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling at shopify.com/listenup. Go to shopify.com/listenup. That's shopify.com/listenup. Hear your first with Shopify by your side. And our next story is UK study finds higher drug and alcohol death rates among LGBT people. A sobering new study out in the United Kingdom is raising urgent public health concerns. Researchers found that lesbian, gay, and bisexual people experiencing nearly 3 times more drug poisoning deaths and almost double the rate of alcohol-related fatalities compared to heterosexual individuals. Experts stress that these disparities are not about identity, but about the chronic stress of discrimination, stigma, and social isolation, combined with barriers to affirming healthcare. Advocates say substance use can become a coping mechanism in environments where safety and support are inconsistent, especially when services are underfunded or inaccessible. Health organizations are calling for targeted mental health care, LGBTQ plus specific substance use treatment, and recognition that discrimination is a public health issue, not just a social one. Next, queer visibility is shrinking in the United States. New research shows that queer visibility in the United States is rapidly declining, according to the Human Rights Campaign's annual community survey. Nearly half of the LGBTQ plus adults say they are now less out than they were just a year ago, including at work, in public spaces, and even in healthcare settings. HRC President Kelly Robinson describes this as a chilling effect, linking it directly to political rhetoric and policies associated with Project 25 and the current White House administration. For many LGBTQ plus people, visibility now feels less like empowerment and more like risk. Next, publishing industry pulls back from queer books. A new report reveals growing fear inside the U.S. publishing industry. According to The Hill, publishers are increasingly passing on LGBTQ plus books, especially children's and young adult titles, amid policy pressures and backlash. PEN America reports that nearly 23,000 books have been banned since 2021, with thousands removed in the most recent school year alone. Books by queer authors, authors of color, and women are disproportionately targeted, often mislabeled as sexually explicit. Advocates warn that this trend doesn't just silence writers, it shapes what future generations are allowed to see, understand, and imagine about themselves. Very sad. And our next story is University of Arkansas withdraws law dean offer over trans rights. The University of Arkansas has withdrawn its offer to hire law professor Emily Suski as dean of School of Law. After her appointment was announced, it emerged that had signed a legal brief supporting transgender athletes' rights. The university says it chose to go a different direction, a move critics say sends a chilling message about academic freedom and political conformity. Supporters argue the decision signals that supporting trans rights can now carry professional consequences, even in academic leadership. And our last story is Utah's anti-trans bill sparks alarm. As Utah's lawmakers begin their 2026 session, LGBTQ plus advocates are sounding the alarm over HB 183. The bill would replace gender with sex across state law, strip transgender people of protections in housing and employment, restrict trans people from working in many roles involving children, and penalize parents who support their transgender children in custody cases. Equality calls it one of the most harmful bills they have ever seen, warning it would effectively erase transgender people from legal protection. Supporters say it's about defining sex. Critics say it's about legalizing discrimination. And just a few quick other little things to talk about before we end today's news. Kyle Rittenhouse falsely claimed fluoride in water is making people gay. Yep, that's what he said. And Nicki Minaj has sparked even more backlash after using an anti-gay slur towards Don Lemon. And Don Lemon, let me tell you, did clap back. Good for you, Don. And finally, heated rivalry star Hudson Williams says he is bulking up and getting ready for season 2. Just some little quick hits at the end to give you a little more news of what's happening. And that's it for today. These stories remind us that joy, visibility, and science exist alongside fear, policy, and real harm, and that staying informed is part of staying connected. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back later this week with more news that matters. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast, please do. And if you think this podcast would resonate with somebody you know, please be sure to share it. Thanks so much for listening.